What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to our Interactive Horror Stories playthrough. Today, we'll be going through Evil Beneath the Ground. We're a goth university student with no friends. You join a school trip to a lake and the forest near it. If you decide to wander in the forest at night, you will find bare footprints. Those are coming from a black hole with a lot. That's weirdly written. Will you descend down? Yes, we will. But before we do, hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Let's go. Evil Beneath the Ground. It's not very long. You are a young university student who identifies as a goth. You are a lonely person. People think that you want to be alone, but in fact, you couldn't find someone you felt affinity. Everyone is so distant from you. Nobody you know listens to the music that you love, like Bauhaus, This Is Mortal Coil, The Sisters of Mercy, etc. You heard about a university field trip to a lake and the forest around it in autumn. There would be a picnic. Also, alcohol is permitted, and you could bring your own drinks. You joined the field trip. Not only maybe you could make some new friends, but you also love the nature, especially when it's a cold season. But of course, you couldn't make new friends once again. During the 2 hours of bus travel, you found out that every other student who has joined the trip were already friends. They simply ignored you. You also didn't approach them. As a result, all you could do during the bus trip was looking outside the window or play games on your phone, while you listened to their joyful laughters. You have mixed feelings about this picnic by the lake. You can't feel yourself as a part of the joyful youth who are enjoying the nature trip. After having a picnic barbecue, they played a game with a ball in which they formed a circle and tried not to let the ball touch the ground. Everyone participated in the game, except for you. Must be hacky sack. But you enjoyed the nature trip somehow. As said before, you love the nature. You took pictures of the lake with your phone. You didn't plan to post the pictures anywhere, though. And there's a huge forest near the picnic area. You have always found peace in the green of the forests. After the sunset, people began to light a campfire and drink. People around your age generally prefer beer, but you don't like it. You feel it overfills your stomach and causes nausea after 2 cans. Instead, you prefer stronger drinks. Today, you brought a bottle of red wine and a wine glass. They gathered around the campfire while you drank your wine alone, away from them. A handsome guy brought his guitar from the bus and began playing it around the fire, while you have finished your second glass of wine. Campfire and moon illuminate the darkness. Sun has already set. There are about 5 hours for the picnic to end. You will be going back to the city with buses. He is playing a calming song. You might join the group, but you also feel a strong urge to have a walk in the dark forest. Let's do it. You stand up and wander away from the picnic. You feel the call of the dark forest, so you walk along the path into the forest. The trees are high and still green. Maybe they stay green in all seasons. You don't know. Your field is not biology. The soil is wet and muddy. It must have rained before your group arrived at the lake. You leave boot prints in the soil as you walk. There are no clouds in the sky. Full moon and stars illuminate the forest. But that's not enough for your eyes. You turn on the flashlight of your phone. There is an app for it too. Of course there is. There's an app for everything. You can't clearly see, but notice the rabbits in the distance. Naturally, they run from you as they notice your presence. You begin to think that you might have gone too far from the picnic. There's nothing interesting in the picnic area. You somehow feel like the darkness of the forest is your friend. Only friend. Let's keep going. You continue on the forest path. After a few minutes, you notice footprints in the soil. They seem to belong to a human with bare, big feet. Probably a man. The prince crossed the path. Follow him. You follow the footprints on the soil. They keep changing directions. You find yourself at an elevation, and the prints stop there. Whoever was walking, you didn't leave prints, those you could follow anymore. He might have gone anywhere, but he didn't follow a single direction. Follows you back. You decide to go to the place where you came from. After a long walk, you find yourself at a hole. There is a lid and a long rope near it. The man clearly comes from the hole. His footprints prove it. When you hold your phone's light into the black hole, you see that there's a ladder inside the hole. You can't see the end of the hole from your position. As a curious and drunk boy, you feel a strong urge to descend. Let's do it. As you need to use both your hands to climb down, you put your phone into your jeans pocket, turning off the light. You start climbing down. After a few seconds, moon and stars above no longer illuminate what you see. You are in pitch black and the ladder still continues. Finally, your feet touch the ground. You are so distant from the forest that you can't see the entrance of the hole from where you are. You carefully get on your 2 feet. You can see nothing yet. Let's turn on the light. The place where you are is made of concrete. There is a long corridor in front of you. It is narrow, about 1 meter wide. It is not very high. There are only a few centimeters between your head and the ceiling of the corridor. You smell a terrible odor. It's a mixture of feces and something you can't understand. There are 3 doorless holes along the concrete corridor, making 3 rooms to discover. Let's go to number 2. You're shocked to find a chained woman in this room. The chain is tied to her ankle. She looks in her 40s, too weak. Her bones are noticeable. She has pale skin with lots of scars. She's on her knees. She is naked. Her body is lightly hairy, except for her pubic area, which is quite hairy. Contrasting her hairy body, her head is shaved. She stinks. Not only the smell of feces, but also it looks like she hasn't been washed in years. She screams as you point the light to her. Who are you? She doesn't answer your question, but yells with despair. Help me! He keeps me here. Alright, let's try to save her. You crouch down to her tied foot. There's no way you can remove the bracelet from her ankle. You also notice that her pinky toe is missing. Let me try to find the key. You try to leave the room, but something you don't understand happens. At the exit of the room, you hit something that wasn't visible in front of you. Yes, you saw nothing in front of you, yet you hit something. You fall into the floor. An invisible force carries you and repeatedly smashes your head to the wall. You hear the woman screaming as you black out. When you wake up, you find yourself lying on the concrete floor in pitch black darkness. By the smell, you understand that you're in the same place. Whoever is keeping you captive, he stripped you from all clothes. You are naked and cold. There is a gag on your mouth, so you can't shout and communicate with the woman. She might be gagged too. You stand up and try to walk away, but your ankle is tied with a chain. You can walk only in a chamber with 1 meter of radius. Your foot touches a metal bucket. It's probably where he expects you to defecate. You lose all your sense of time here. You wait for an unmeasurable amount of time for something to happen. You're thirsty and hungry. Sometimes you hear your phone ring. It is in a different room. The piano melody is It's the Fear by Within Temptation. An ironic name for your situation. They probably noticed that you were missing and tried to reach you. Especially your parents. They must have become mad. Of course, you can't answer the call. Finally, you hear footsteps. You hear your captor coming to your room. You're unable to see anything. He takes your gig off. Apparently he has no problem with seeing in pitch black. And you hear his voice. Drink! It belongs to an old man. A dominant, ordering voice. You feel the tip of a bucket on your lips. Now, you definitely need a drink. It is water what he is offering. You drink it. Not the best water you drank. It could have been taken from the lake. But you have no other choices, it seems. After you drink enough, he puts the bucket on the ground. And he brings you something else into your lips. Eat. You are too hungry to refuse him. You allow him to put the thing in your mouth. It's meat, but raw. You would never eat raw meat, except for sushi. But now you chew it slowly. It is rabbit, he says. You swallow the meat, despite how it disgusts you. After you eat all he gives you, he puts the gag on your mouth and leaves the room without saying another word. After a while, he comes back as you are laying on the floor. Stand up, he orders you. You get on your 2 feet clumsily. He grabs your body and you feel 2 sharp fangs on your neck. He starts draining your blood. And you understand the true nature of your captor. You have no idea how long you have been a prisoner here. You're mostly alone in the room, doing nothing with a gag on your mouth. He occasionally comes by to feed you and himself. Sometimes you hear loud sounds from the other room. He tortures the woman. She screams and begs him to stop, but he doesn't. You hear a whip hit the naked flesh of the woman. For some reason, he doesn't harm you, only the woman. You haven't seen anything for a long time. You have no idea what he looks like. Sometimes you hear sobbing, but it doesn't belong to the woman, to the captor. He cries loudly for some reason. Someday, or night, you can't figure out, he shows up and takes your gag off. I have done research about you, learned everything about you. He says your name, shocking you. We have some common points. We both like the dark. We are both outcasts, lonely souls in this world of darkness. I will make you an offer, only once, so make your decision wisely. I can make you an immortal like me. You will no longer be in chains. You will have a life, or unlife, in the dark, like you have always wanted. Or you could stay as immortal and wait for the day you will die here as my prisoner. Obviously it's two different endings. Let's do immortal. Fuck it. Let's do it. Very well, he says. Stand up. Stand up and allow your master to embrace you. You feel his fangs in your neck once again. But this time, he doesn't stop. You feel your whole blood is getting drained. Soon, you lose consciousness. Oh, Jesus. You open your eyes. You find yourself laying in a wooden coffin. But this time, you are able to see. There isn't any single light source in the concrete room. But you see your environment as if you were wearing night vision goggles. You're wearing your old clothes and also gloves, so you can't see your skin. You have lost your hair. It has shed. Your old hair is on the coffin's part where you put your head on, and you feel your face change too. But the most significant change is an unbearable thirst, but not for water. Welcome to a new start, my child, you hear his voice. You look around the room, but you can't see him. There are 2 coffins and a mirror in the room. They think that our kind can't be seen on the mirror. False. Take a look at yourself. You step outside the coffin and walk to the mirror. You're in terror with what you see in the mirror. You don't carry a human face anymore. Your skin has scales like a snake. Its color is a light gray, almost white. Your ears are long and have pointy tips. Your eyes are all red. You slowly open your mouth to see sharp teeth. You scream, break down, and cry in despair. Then you feel his hand, claw to be exact, on your shoulder. He stands on your back. Now you are able to see his hand. It is scaled like your skin. Look at me. He orders you. For some reason, you can't disobey your master. You involuntarily look at the mirror to see the immortal entity behind you. His body is tall, naked, and has a humpback. His skin is almost white and scaled. But his face is the ugliest thing you've ever seen. It is the embodiment of evils, torture, murder, rape, and envy. Envy for everything that's pretty and fair. I will teach you everything I know. Your new, and only now, parent says with a hideous smile. The end. Welcome to Unlife. So I definitely see a common theme here. You do the nice thing, try to help people, you get screwed. So, next one, we're going to do something different. But thank you for watching. It's very slightly longer. If you like this series, definitely hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. At time of this recording, I'm at 9. So definitely really give me a help here. Really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one when we take on the Crystal Skull 2. See you next time.